going on, guys? Dominance, discipline, direction, Team 3D. What is Team 3D all about? You know, why am I so obsessed with it? Why am I so obsessed with this Team 3D dominance, discipline, direction thing? You know, for the veteran subscribers, you saw the first video. What is this called? What is Team 3D? You know, I explained the basics of how I got the channel started, why I got the channel started, but I never really explained in full detail, you know, the weight behind it. You know, like why am I, you know, why is it all I live for? You know, dominance, discipline, direction. You know, and it's pretty simple. Hold on a second. It's pretty simple. I grew up, you know, most of you guys know my story. I didn't grow up with my dad. You know, my parents were separated, so. You know, my big brothers were also on my father's side, so I really didn't have any father figure. I was the only boy, a big sister and a little sister. So I was the only boy in the house, right? Growing up with a single mom. And, you know, obviously a woman, you know, a single mom can't fill the dad's shoes. I don't care how hard she tries, because she's not a dude. You know, there's some things you just can't add your mama, right? From when you go through puberty, even before that, there's so many things you can't ask your mama, right? Let alone, you know, your two fucking sisters. So I grew up without guidance. You know, I didn't have any vision for my life. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I was brilliant, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna try to, you know, cover that up. I had great grades when I came to the US. You know, they skipped me a grade. I was 12 years old in high school. I was a senior at 15. You know, by the time I was 16, I had already finished my first year of college with a 3.6 GPA. So I was, you know, as far as like intelligence, I wasn't stupid, right? But I had no fucking direction. I had no guidance. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I was kind of lost, if you want to call it that, right? And that's why I'm big on the direction part of Team 3D, because I told you there's dominance and direction. Direction is, you know, where are you going? What is the purpose? And I compared it to having a beautiful car, a Mustang, nice, you know, like fucking 600 horsepower, right? It has everything that you need to impress the next car, right? But it has no steering wheel, right? It has no, it can't go anywhere. It's just stuck there looking cute. It's useless. And that's what I was, you know, that's what I compared my life to at the time. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do with my life. And I really struggled with that. I mean, I didn't have my first real conversation with my dad until I was 23. That was 2 years ago. The second real conversation we had was 2 weeks ago at 25. So I was kind of behind. But at that time, back in the days, around my 20s, I decided, I said, you know what? I'm going to begin this journey to find myself. That's why I kept traveling from state to state. And eventually I did. I found out what I like to do. I found out what I love to do. I found out what my specialty was. And I devised a plan for my life. But then I paused and I was like, wait a minute, what about all the other guys that were in my shoes? You know, I'm bitching about the shit that I had to go through. I'm pretty sure people had it worse. And I'm damn sure, you know, people had it worse. You know, what about the guys? At least I found my, you know, my way eventually. But what about the people that are still, you know, searching, that are still seeking their purpose and their sense of vision or the sense of belonging, whatever? Because it's a miserable life. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you don't know your purpose, it's miserable. You get up every day, it's like, man, same shit, different day. The things that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. You just always constantly bored. Even though you have all the games you want, you have all the money you want, you're still bored. You're like, fuck, man. You know, so I know it's a miserable existence. You know, in fact, in order for me to find myself, I had to let go everything that I had. You know, I was working jobs, I had a lot of money, but I had to like move out of New York, move out of my comfort zone, and just begin from, you know, with a clean slate. I did that 3 times in my life, where I just moved to a different state where I only knew 1 or 2 people, and I started from scratch in order to refine myself. And you know, it hurt. But I'm not saying everyone should go through that, but my job is to provide, you know, the tools that they need to get to the destination without having to go through the shit that I had to go through, right? You know, I'm a big believer in learn from other people's mistakes, so you don't have to make those same mistakes over and over again. If everyone had to reinvent the wheel every generation, we won't have airplanes today, you know? So that's how I came up with Team 3D. Dominance, discipline, direction. It's really simple. Dominance, I already explained it. Dominate every area of your life, especially your strength, right? Whatever you're good at, whatever you're the greatest at, right? You don't have to be the next Michael Jordan. You don't have to be the next fucking Tiger Woods. You don't have to be the next Steve Jobs. Be the next insert name, right? Whatever the fuck your name is, right? Your name is Jonathan Migan. Be the greatest Jonathan Migan that ever lived, you know? I always tell people, whatever your first name is, you own that first name. Make sure when somebody mentions that name, they think of only you, you know? It sounds egocentric, whatever, but hey, it's all about greatness, you know? When I say Napoleon, who do you think about? Napoleon Bonaparte. When I say fucking Hitler, you know, you guys only think of one person, you know, even though he's a He was kind of fucked up in the head. So the way I see it is, dominate whatever your area is, right? Whatever you're good at, whatever your talent is, dominate that shit. I tell people all the fucking time, don't worry about your weaknesses, right? Worry about your strengths. Don't develop your greatest weakness. Develop your greatest strength, right? Because people won't remember you for your greatest weakness or how you overcame it. They remember you for your greatest strength, right? I put on Twitter the other day, nobody knows what Michael Jordan's greatest weakness is. If I ask you what is Michael Jordan's greatest weakness, you have no idea. You really don't give a fuck, right? But you know that he was the greatest basketball player of, of his day, and that's up for debate, but in my book is. So be remembered for what you were the greatest at. What are you good at? Is it drawing? Then be the best artist. Are you good at fucking building muscle? Then be the greatest fucking muscle builder ever. Whatever it is, dominate that area of your life. Second is discipline, right? Create the right habits. I'm in love. I'm obsessed with military history. I love warriors and soldiers and conquerors and things like that because they didn't have everything handed to them. They had to work for that shit, and that required discipline. Look at a Navy SEAL. Look at those Russian guys. Look at any elite armed force. They are disciplined, right? They created the right habits. They went from nobodies to fucking deadly assassins and whatever their position is. Be disciplined. The third one is obviously, like I said, the most important: direction. Know where your life is heading. Have a purpose, right? It's funny, if you were to ask me what kind of business I'm into the vision architecture business, right? I want to sit down with young men, and I had the opportunity to work with a lot of young people, in my teenage years. So I want to be able to sit down with young people or old people, don't care whether you give up on your dream or you never had one, and sit down with them and look at their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, and make them maximize their potential, make them fucking maximize their capacity. I'm not asking people to do what they can't do. Hell, I'm not gonna tell you, hey, go ahead and do this thing that's completely illogical. No, I tell people, hey, what can you do? What is within your power to do? What can you do? Now, if your power level is, let's say, fucking 10, but it can be 30, why are you not at 30? You get what I mean? I'm not trying to get people to go to level 50 if they can only be at level 30, right? But if your maximum is level 30, you have no excuse to be under level 30. You get what I mean? That's my goal. It's to maximize people's capacities, their potential. The vision architecture business, right? What is your vision? Have a vision for your life. Have a plan for your life. Direction. Where are you going? I love doing it. When I sit down with someone who's like, man, I don't know what to do in my life. I'm bored all the time. I'm depressed, blah, blah, blah. I love it. Like, this wave of energy goes into me, and I sit down with them. I tell them, all right, pull out a piece of paper, and let's get it started. 30 minutes later, boom, they leave with like excitement, energy. They're ready to dominate life and conquer. And hey, my day has just been done. That's what makes me happy. So guys, that's how I came up with Team 3D, dominative in direction. That's the theme behind it, the movement behind it is maximize your potential, establish, a vision for your life. Leave something behind, something, We all gonna die anyway. That's why I tell people, they're like, oh, I'm afraid to do this. I want to do this, but I'm afraid. I'm like, dude, we all gonna die eventually, right? The way I see it, life is like a bunch of passengers in the airplane that we know is gonna crash. The plane is gonna crash, right? That's what life is like. You're gonna die eventually. So the only thing you can do is enjoy the fuck out of your ride, man. Don't die no fucking unknown motherfucker. What the hell is that? Anyway, guys, the video's way longer than I expected it, but that's the movement I started, and that's the movement I'm gonna keep going and pushing forward. Dominance, discipline, direction. I'm out.
Come on, son. Anyway, a lazy person. I still am, and I believe that lazy people have the most potential out of every human being on the planet. In fact, the reason why we're so lazy is because we believe it or not.